Hello guys, hope everybody is doing good. I'm doing absolutely great myself. My name is Mina Jamosa, but you guys can definitely call me Mini M. So today you guys, I'm back with another video. It's a continuity from the previous story time that I made. So I was sharing as you guys my experience living in the slums. So today I'll be taking you guys through as to how I ended up living in the slums from the suburbs. So there are two videos. Know the place prior. They were my cousin. Yeah, my cousin was staying there. So I arrived at Springs, and then from Springs got into a taxi to Davidson, and then from Davidson. So the place that I was going to, it was between Springs and Davidson. It was at the center. So it's a township on your left, and then on your right it's this place. So it is situated in the other side of the highway. It is opposite a township with proper housing infrastructure, like well connected electricity, like everything was proper. And then the slums were on the other side. So where the slums were, it's practically the bushes, because near them there are agricultural practices. The maize mill is being farmed there. So if there's an agricultural practice that is happening in a land, it means that land is fertile. If a land is fertile, reds are gonna be there because they like maize. I hope you guys see where I'm going with this, right? Okay, so this place where the slums are located or situated, it is overpopulated. Like there's no proper landscaping. Just a cluster of slums. The shelter, they are made of corrugated iron. So keep that in mind. It is made of corrugated iron. And one thing about corrugated iron, you guys, is that it has high thermal conductivity. Okay, I'm being weird because I don't know how to put this like in a general term so that everybody can get it. So high thermal conductivity, it means that something can absorb heat very easily and retains it, but then again at the same time it conforms to the external temperature. So when it's hot, it will be extremely hot. If it's cold, it will be extremely cold. And that's one of the struggles of living in the slums. Mind you, where I was staying, it was in the suburbs. Everything is there. I'm talking proper housing, electricity, electrical appliances, a good building material, like everything is proper. So you guys can imagine this transition that I had to go through. Okay, so that place, as I've mentioned, that it is overpopulated. There's overpopulation. There's poor landscape. Poor landscape means that there's fast spread of diseases, high risk of epidemics. So the shelters there are very small, and it's literally hard to maneuver around, but there are small paths that are made for people, or should I say pedestrians, to move from one place to another. So there are smaller building sizes there. So if you wanna stay there, you must just know and understand that the building size is like very small, and it is not suitable for human settlement. As I've mentioned, that they were like practicing cultural activities there, so it was definitely not suitable for human settlement. So during a rainy season, you guys, it tends to get very muddy. The soil there has like high water retention capacity. It holds on to water for a very, very long time. So like during seasons, and it takes time to dry up. So the soil is clay soil, loamy. So that type of soil tends to hold like water for a very, very long time. So it's during rainy seasons, it means it's difficult to move around. So it's very difficult. You need to have like strong like boots so that you'll be able to move around. Otherwise your shoes will just get damaged basically. So yeah, the building material is not that strong. So if you know a shelter or slums, you will know this. The building material there is not that strong, because remember, corrugated iron is for roofing, not for building an entire structure of the house, right? But slums are made of corrugated iron. Like on the sides, the roofing is corrugated, everything is corrugated iron. So the building material is not strong enough to withstand bad weather conditions. So if you know, corrugated iron is just for roofing. It's this way, it is not strong enough to withstand like bad weather conditions such as strong winds, because some of them tends to get blown away during windy season. So it's very high risk staying there in slums. It's very risky, you guys. And then, so the corrugated iron, as I have mentioned, that it conforms to the external or environmental conditions. It can be extremely hot or cold, and it is not soundproof. Which means noise can just get in more than it can normally do in a well-built house. So it is not soundproof. So when people are playing loud music, like, mind you, this is informal settlement, so like there are no rules and regulations. This guides people as to how they should conduct them as compared to townships and suburbs. So when people are playing loud music, radio, or any sound producing devices, this is very much audible to neighbors, like very much audible. You can literally hear all the different noise in the house. People there most people have dogs because they do not have proper fencing, to surround themselves. So in order for them to be protected against crime, because that area is the crime rate is very high, so people tend to get themselves dogs, which tends to bark uncontrollably at night. So you can imagine, people play loud noise there. They are like informal taverns, and then the dogs will bark at night like nobody's business, because people move there throughout the night. So, and as I mentioned, that's the high crime rate. So yeah, and the noise is just unbearable. Hence the place is hella noisy. Like, it is very noisy, especially during night. It is very noisy, and it is not good for studying, especially if you prefer silence when you are studying. Like myself, I prefer silence when I'm studying. So that place is very noisy. But yeah, I stayed there and I had to make it work. Like, another thing that you can literally hear when you're inside the house is the neighbors' arguments. You can even hear when they are arguing. That's how poor the building material is. So the type used, it does not support the type of material that is used to build slums. It does not support like proper electrical connections. You cannot be able to connect electricity in a shelter that is made of corrugated iron. It is not safe. It does not align with the safety regulations of ESCOM. So for that reason, there are no proper electrical connections. Electricity is basically not there in the slums. So yeah, there are no transformers, there are no DP boards. So hence, most electrical gadgets are difficult to use. When you stay in the slums, you cannot be able to use most electrical gadgets because there is no electricity. Electrical gadgets require electricity, so most gadgets cannot be used, or appliances cannot be used when you're staying in the slums. So electrical appliances do not function. So if you stay in the slums, you will not be able to use electrical gadgets such as TVs, refrigerators to keep your food refrigerated, microwaves, stoves, to mention a few. You will not be able to use those. As I've mentioned, that cooking stoves are not used. Paraffin stoves are used to making. Paraffin stoves are used to prepare food. It's paraffin and gas stoves. So, and also you have to use fuel in order to make fire. This way, it means air pollution there. It's very high. So if you're using one of that high use of fuels will lead to air pollution. So air pollution is extremely dangerous because it will lead to health diseases such as bronchitis, asthma, and so on. So it is extremely dangerous to use paraffin stoves and gas stoves if you do not know how to use them properly. And gas stove is very efficient. You can use it, but it is pricey. It does cost a lot to use or to refill a gas stove. Coal stoves are also used as well, but especially in winter they are used to prepare food and also as a heater, like they provide warmth during cold seasons. And then there are no washing machines. You have to hand wash your laundry and put it on drying lines. You have to safeguard it until it dries, because if you do not safeguard it, the minute you enter your room and by the time you come back after a while, you won't find a thing on the line, because clothes get stolen a lot there. Like they do steal clothes. Okay, so yeah, the struggle of living in the slums is very high, you guys. And another thing, there are no irons. As I've mentioned, it's an electrical appliance. There are no electric kettles, so it means if you need to boil water and have a cup of tea, you need to use a paraffin stove. And with paraffin stove, you guys, paraffin, you will feel and you will taste the smell of paraffin in your water. It just tampers with the chemistry of water, which means it is not really safe. Better to opt for a gas stove, which is pricey, as I have mentioned. Okay, then during rainy seasons, you guys, what happens is this. Okay, before I get into this, I did not mention the fact that the electricity that is used there is not necessarily the electricity that is supplied directly from ESCOM. They get it from the robots, which means it is connected underground. The cables connect to the robots, and then from the robots to the slums it goes underground, unlike the proper electrical wires, the normal ones that we used to they use like cable poles, the ones that you can all see. But with the slums, the type of electricity that is used there is get inside, like it's under the soil. That's how it is distributed from the robots to the slums. So what happens is that since the wires are underground in them, during rainy seasons the soil tends to get wet. So when the soil gets wet, what happens is that the electricity will be disturbed, and you won't be able to charge your phone, because with the type of electricity that is supplied there, you can only be able to charge your phone and lights. Yeah, that's the only thing you can get, charging and lighting. So during those rainy seasons, the lights tends to get dim, and then you won't be able to even charge your cell phone. You will need to go to the neighboring township. And I've mentioned that it is, adjacent to a township. So you just cross the highway, and then yeah, it's very close. So the illegal connections, as I've mentioned, the service connection is the type that is used to supply electricity there. So with the service connection, like the proper electrical connection that is used when supplying electricity to homes, like distributing it, as the parallel one. So with the parallel connection, it means when one place is faulty, it won't affect the other places. But with service connection, if one like shelter becomes faulty or has a fault connection, or there is a little bit of disturbance, all like the shelters or the slums in the area won't have electricity. Like it's like a domino effect. If there's one fault, all the other shelters will be without electricity. So during the actual load shedding, robots do not function, you guys. Robots do not function. So there will be no electricity also. There will be no electricity in the slums. So mind you, if there is no electricity in the slums due to the faulty with the robots or whatsoever, the township with the proper electrical distribution, they will have electricity and it will be well lit. Hence on the other side it will be very dark, you guys. Hence crime rate, it will just bloom actually. So yeah, then this type of electricity is very weak. The one that they distributed from the robots, it is very weak. It does not support or supply enough power that is needed for appliances needed on a daily basis. So it is only used for lighting and charging of cell phones, as I've mentioned. Since refrigerators cannot be used, food spoils a lot. It is very quickly to spoil, so there's wastage that actually happens there. There are no proper dump sites, which means from time to time people tend to experience foul smells, which is also not good, as it may lead to many like health issues. And then it's dump sites, like they produce horrible smells, which is difficult to inhale. It is difficult to inhale, but then some people get used to it. But you cannot really get used to such thing that is a threat to your health. But then because people have like not much of a choice, because if you stay in slums, it means you cannot afford like proper housing. So yeah, that's what you have to deal with if you stay in the slums. Oh, another thing, you guys, the issue of not having refrigerators, it leads to high consumption of tin stuff, and the tin stuff tends to lead to heartburns. Like I suffered a lot of heartburns and indigestions a lot when I was staying there. Like it was crazy. So yeah, if you consume a lot of tin stuff, you will be subjected to heartburns, indigestions. Yeah. And then with sanitation, you guys, there are mobile toilets that are used. There are workers that use chemicals to clean up. Like those chemicals produce like a strong smell that persists for longer periods of time, which means air pollution. Air pollution is a risk factor to health, obviously. So yeah, mind you, in the suburbs there are like there's proper sanitations, toilets that are flushable, and then having to adjust to such conditions is what help. But you know what, such is life. And then again, there's high unemployment rates in the slums. There's high unemployment rates and the crime rates as well. Directly, these two are directly proportional, because high unemployment rates, it means high crime rates. Another thing, so for food, if you needed to get food and other basic needs, you'll have to travel like longer distances for groceries. Like the transport there is scarce. There are no Ubers, no Bolts, no nothing compared with the rest life or the life in the suburbs. And then yeah, that's it. In conclusion, you guys, like staying in the slums is definitely not a choice, but sometimes we found ourselves succumbing to such situations. So what I also experienced staying in the slums, you guys, is that at some point, like they broke in while I was in another shelter, because like there were like 3 shelters. The 2 we used them to sleep, and the other one we used to cook in. So with this one, there was a broken window, and I suppose they saw during the day that there was a broken window, so they just came in during the night, opened because it was broken. They just put it inserted their arms and then opened the window so that they would get in properly, and they cleaned that shelter. Basically, they cleaned the shelter, took out everything that was there. Mind you, it was month end, so we were just recently done groceries, you know, bought certain stuff, so everything was gone, including the gas stove, you guys. Everything was gone. The trauma when we woke up in the morning and we literally did not hear a thing when they were breaking in. Like, it was crazy, you guys. But that is my experience living in the slums. It was not easy, but yeah, I was able to adjust there until I completed my NASET and 4. And yeah, let me just end it here, you guys. So if you have watched until this far, thank you so much. I truly appreciate you. Please don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, share this video with others, and until then, I'll see you guys on my next upload. Bye.